Gotcha. That's what I figured. And so, and you found.
Yeah, there was a head of an ant, leaf material, but it's indicative of the landscape. Doesn't mean.
Just say we're here in the middle of the Nantucket Sound doing a fact-finding mission concerning the proposed Cape Wind project. We started out very early this morning with the Mashpee tribe to watch the sunrise before 6 o'clock. We were at their headquarters. We've had several tribal consultations throughout the day, and then we've been spending time here in the Sound itself, learning more about the project. There are really three fundamental issues that we are addressing here in this effort with respect to the analysis of the application by Cape Wind. The first is the President and the Department of Interior have made renewable energy one of the imperatives of our country. And we do that in the name of energy independence, in the name of combating climate change and global warming, and also in terms of creating jobs here in America. We also have another imperative in Interior, and that's protecting the history of America. I am the chief historian as Secretary of Interior of the cultural history of the United States. And third, we have a very important responsibility, which is as equal to the others, and that is making sure that we are respecting the tribes of America and that we're having a government-to-government relationship with all of them. And so it's all of those factors that lead us to take this application that is now pending before the Department of Interior as seriously as we are taking it. And as Secretary, I made the determination that we will have a conclusion of this application process, and we'll get that done by April. And so I have assigned the key people in my department to work on this in a manner that is in full compliance with the law and addressing issues that have been raised so that we get a final decision. I think the worst thing that we can do for the country is to be in a state of indecision, and this application has been in a state of indecision for a very long time. First, on the question of whether or not a consensus can be reached here, this project has been underway for a very long time, and there are passionate feelings on both sides, and so I'm not holding my breath for a consensus. On the other hand, there is a tremendous amount of information that we're gathering even today in this fact-finding mission with respect to the legitimate concerns that people are raising. And those are the kinds of concerns that ultimately could be addressed in a permit if in fact a permit is issued. On the other hand, it may be that we make the determination that those concerns rise to the level that no permit will be issued, and I will decline to issue a permit for these outer continental shelf lands on behalf of the United States. Now, on your second question, your broader question relative to what it means with respect to the rest of wind energy along the Atlantic and the Pacific, we're moving forward ahead. What happens to Cape Wind, whether it goes up or whether it goes down, will not be determinative of the future of wind energy in the United States. In our budget for 2011, which I discussed yesterday, we have significant money in there to do additional environmental assessment and planning, both for the Atlantic and for the Pacific alone, and for the Pacific. And here on the Atlantic alone, we know from the experts that have looked at the wind potential, there is huge potential up and down the coast, and that's why you have such a significant outpouring of interest on the part of the governors and the private sector to do more with wind energy here on the Atlantic. So bottom line, on your second question, it's not determinative of the future of wind energy, but it is, it's an important project, and it deserves the kind of thorough consideration that we're giving it. There were government-to-government consultations, and they were not the first of these consultations or conversations. Many of them have been held by employees within the Department of Interior. I personally participated in a tribal consultation with both tribes in the Secretary's office several weeks ago. This is the second time that I have a personal tribal consultation with the leadership of the tribes. The general sense of the conversations this morning was to give us a presentation of the importance that they put on this particular area, their history, their attachment to this land, and the special meaning that it has for them. So we hear them loud and clear.
Did you feel like you got a sense of that importance this morning?
You know, I did, yes. The answer is yes. And, you know, I had that sense of importance when they visited me in the office and we had our tribal consultation there, government to government. But I also think that it is important for us to respect the nation's first Americans. We have 564 tribes in the United States of America. And so to respect them, part of what I felt I had to do was to come out here to their place, to their places of significance, and to actually experience some of what they experienced. And so this morning with the Mashpee out on the ocean very early in the morning, watching the crimson of the sky and watching the sunrise was a very important information gathering for me as we deal with what is a very difficult decision.
And Mr. Secretary, what have you learned by coming out here that you didn't get from all the documents that have been filed in the meetings that you had as recently as a couple of weeks ago?
You know, I'm a person of the outdoors, you know, a farmer and rancher for most of my life, and so I can look at maps and I can understand quarter sections and longitudinal lines, but they don't mean very much to me until I actually get out and get the feel and smell the place. And so it was important for me personally to come out here, and very meaningful.
Governor Patrick last week, in meeting with some of the people who are going to bid on the Cape Wind project should it be approved, indicated that he said that they're awaiting federal approval that could come in the next couple of weeks, as if to say, look, the fix is already in. Have you had any conversations with the governor that have assured him that Cape Wind would be approved?
You know, the only statements that I have made is that we will take this process through to conclusion. And as I said earlier in this press conference, the conclusion might be that we will simply deny the application, or on the other hand, that we will approve the application with conditions. And those are the two roads that we will be exploring through this process that David and Laura are heading up for me, and I will make the final decision. I haven't had recent conversations with Governor Patrick. I'm aware of his position and aware of the positions of other Massachusetts officials on the project.
Last question, guys. This is the last question.
In an interview last year, you talked about how
He's having another one.
You thought that the Cape Wind project, what you knew about it was a good project. Now that you know more about it, do you feel more that way, or anything to less that way? Does anything change your mind?
With respect to the Cape Wind project, we're still finding out more information. I have actually given some directions to David and some of the staff on important questions that still need to be asked and need to be answered. So I'm not prejudging where we will end up on this particular project. I will say that what has changed for me from a year ago is that I view the wind energy potential of the United States as being very significant. For me, when I went to Copenhagen and went out to the wind energy places, and I have met with the governors up and down the Atlantic coast, and they talked to me about the potential of generating 20, 30, 40% of energy from renewable energy resources. We know that as a country, we have an imperative to harness the power of the wind, and we will do that. We will do that. We have exploratory permits for towers, just like this one that we've granted for Delaware and for New Jersey. There are applications that are now pending in front of the Minerals Management Service. I have asked David Hayes and Wilma Lewis and Liz Birnbaum to make sure that moving forward, we have permitting processes that in fact are transparent and in fact everybody can understand and know how they will work. And so I'm very bullish on the future of wind energy in the United States of America. But as I've always said, with respect to renewable energy on the onshore, it's important to do wind energy in the right places. And that is the critical question that we're addressing here on Nantucket Sound. You know, is this the right place for wind energy, or is it not? And that's a process that we're going through, and we'll have a decision in April.
So does that, do you change your perspective on